I truly believe that if you make what's that old phrase? If you make it, they will come, right? And I just think it's actually very, very simple and very straightforward. Is that if you make radio for young people, then they will come and they will listen. I mean, I think there's a particularly unique problem in talk radio in the country, just as a side note, because they say young people aren't engaged or not interested or not thinking or don't want to vote, and none of those things are true. In fact, all over TikTok, you see young people making interesting things for young people about the news, about current affairs, with great analysis and politics and interest, and they've got millions of views. And so my answer is very similar to the earlier one, which is that if you create radio for young people by young people will listen. There's some incredible shows, particularly on Mhlobo Wenene. There's a show, and another one I think on Ukhozi, if I remember correctly, which is hosted by very, very young people who were given opportunities, and young people resonate with that and came along, responded to that. But it's also about not just the presenter, but the programming itself. So Nia spoke about it earlier, but if you create specific content pieces and specific content strategies for young people, then you get young people to listen. It's incredibly important to focus explicitly on young people for at least 15 minutes a show or at a different time, because they are the ones who are on TikTok and Spotify and watching television. And so they're the ones who you really have to convince that radio has something for them. But if you do, then you have them for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And so when we really, really in a serious way take the time to create whole features, like we've got Kids Weather Report, we've got karaoke, and every single day you're getting dozens and dozens of young people from different cities all across the country, many of them are high school students, it pays dividends and it gets yield. So if if you're trying to create content also that you want to sell to a brand as being young people, you got to make it for them and be fine with that. The trick is to make it entertaining enough that even though only young people on the radio, the older folks who are listening go, that was funny, I can sit through this again. And that's the real art.